Have you ever noticed something strange? You can receive 10 compliments in a single day, but one small criticism stays in your mind for hours. Someone tells you, "You did a wonderful job." Another person casually says, "I think you could have done this a little better." And somehow, your mind keeps replaying that one negative comment. Why? Why does our brain hold on to pain more tightly than happiness? Why is it easier to remember our mistakes than our successes? If you've ever wondered this, today you're going to understand something that can completely change the way you see yourself. Because the problem isn't that you're a negative person. The problem is that your brain is simply doing the job it was designed to do. Let's begin. Why your brain focuses on problems. Imagine you're walking through a beautiful park. The birds are singing. The weather is pleasant. Flowers are blooming everywhere. Suddenly, you notice a snake lying on the path. What happens? Do you continue admiring the flowers? Or does every bit of your attention immediately move towards the snake? Of course it does, because your brain is designed to notice danger first. Thousands of years ago, this kept our ancestors alive. If they ignored danger, they didn't survive long enough to pass on their genes. But the people who quickly noticed threats, the rustling in the bushes, the strange sound at night, the dangerous animal nearby, they survived. That ancient survival system still lives inside every one of us. The only difference is, today, the snake isn't usually a wild animal. It's an unanswered email, a delayed message, a mistake at work, a bill to pay, a conversation you keep replaying. Your brain treats emotional danger almost the same way it once treated physical danger. Psychologists call this the negativity bias. Our brains naturally pay more attention to problems than pleasant experiences. Not because life is bad, but because survival mattered more than happiness. That's why one awkward conversation can stay in your mind all day, while dozens of ordinary pleasant moments disappear without notice. So if you often worry, if your mind keeps imagining what could go wrong, if you overthink conversations, it doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're human. Your brain is trying to protect you. The problem is, sometimes your brain protects you from dangers that don't actually exist. It's like a smoke alarm. A smoke alarm is useful when there's a real fire. But imagine if it went off every time someone made toast. Eventually, it becomes exhausting. Many of us live like that. Our mind sounds the alarm over every little uncertainty. What if I fail? What if they don't like me? What if something goes wrong? The alarm rings, even when there's no fire. The good news? You don't have to remove the alarm. You only need to recognize when it's giving a false warning. And that's where real change begins, how one thought changes an entire day. Now let's talk about something even more powerful. How a single thought can quietly shape your entire day. Think about your morning. You wake up. Nothing special has happened yet. The day is completely open. Then one thought appears. I'm already behind. Or, today is going to be stressful. Nothing has actually gone wrong, but that one thought becomes the lens through which you see everything. Imagine wearing glasses with blue lenses. Suddenly, everything looks slightly blue. The world didn't change. Your glasses did. Our thoughts work exactly the same way. If you begin the day believing that everything is difficult, your mind starts collecting evidence to prove it. You notice every inconvenience, every delay, every mistake, every annoying person. But if you wake up thinking, let's see what today brings, your brain starts noticing opportunities instead. The world stays the same. Only your mental lens changes. Here's a simple story. Two neighbors leave their homes on the same rainy morning. The first neighbor sighs. What a terrible day. The weather has ruined everything. The second neighbor smiles. The plants needed this rain. I've been wanting a cozy day with a cup of tea. Same rain, same street, same morning. different thoughts, different experiences. Life often feels different because our thinking is different. Here's another picture to remember. Imagine your mind is a garden. Every thought is a seed. Some seeds grow into beautiful flowers. Gratitude, hope, patience, confidence. Other seeds become weeds, fear, comparison, resentment, self-doubt. Now imagine watering the weeds every single day. Eventually, they take over the whole garden. The flowers are still there, but you can't see them anymore. Positive thinking isn't pretending weeds don't exist. It's choosing which plants deserve your attention. Let me tell you about Maya. Every morning before school, Maya would complain. I'm going to have a terrible day. I'll probably make mistakes. I don't think anyone likes me. Her grandmother listened patiently. One morning, she handed Maya 2 small notebooks. One notebook was black. The other was bright yellow. She said, "The black notebook is for everything that went wrong today. The yellow notebook is for everything that went right." At first, Maya filled pages and pages in the black notebook. The yellow one stayed almost empty. But after a week, she noticed something surprising. There were actually many good moments. A friend smiled at her. A teacher praised her work. She enjoyed lunch. She laughed during class. Those things had always happened. She simply hadn't noticed them, because her mind was only searching for problems. Your brain finds what you teach it to look for. That's why small thoughts become big experiences, building a positive life every day. In the previous chapter, we discovered something important. Your mind naturally notices problems, not because you're negative, but because your brain is trying to protect you. And we also learned that not every thought deserves our attention. Now comes the next question. If positive thinking isn't something we're born with, how do we actually build it? The answer is surprisingly simple. Not through one life-changing moment, not through endless motivation, but through small choices made every single day. Let's explore how. Small habits build a strong mind. Imagine trying to build a strong house. You wouldn't begin with the roof. You would start with the foundation. Our minds work exactly the same way. A positive life isn't built from one big decision. It's built from tiny habits that quietly shape who we become. Think about your morning, before you've even spoken to anyone, before you've checked your phone, before the world asks anything from you. Your day has already begun. The first few minutes of the morning are like setting the direction of a ship. A small turn at the beginning can lead to a completely different destination later. Many people wake up, grab their phone, read stressful news, scroll through social media, compare their lives with everyone else's, and then wonder why they already feel exhausted. Instead, imagine beginning your day differently. Wake up, take one deep breath, drink a glass of water, stretch your body for a few minutes, open the window, feel the fresh air, let the sunlight remind you that today is a brand new beginning. You don't need an hour-long routine. Even 5 peaceful minutes can change how your mind responds to the rest of the day. Then, move your body. You don't have to run a marathon. A short walk, a few stretches, dancing to your favorite song, climbing a few flights of stairs. Movement tells your brain, we're alive. It releases chemicals that naturally improve your mood and reduce stress. Your body and your mind are partners. When one feels better, the other often follows. Another simple habit is learning to celebrate small wins. Most of us only celebrate the big moments, getting promoted, buying a house, achieving a major goal. But life isn't made of only big moments. It's made of ordinary Tuesdays, quiet Wednesdays, simple Friday evenings. Celebrate making your bed, finishing a task, cooking a healthy meal, calling a friend, reading 10 pages of a book. These tiny victories teach your brain to notice progress instead of perfection. Let me tell you a short story. Every evening, an elderly man walked to the same hill to watch the sunset. People often asked him, "Why do you come here every day? The sunset looks almost the same." He smiled and replied, "No two sunsets are ever the same. The sky reminds me that even endings can be beautiful." He wasn't watching the sunset because life was perfect. He was training his mind to notice beauty that most people hurried past. The more we appreciate ordinary moments, the richer our lives quietly become. Protect your mind. Now let's talk about something many people forget. Your mind is always growing, just like a garden. Whatever you plant and whatever you water will eventually grow. If you constantly feed your mind fear, comparison, anger, and negativity, those thoughts become stronger. But if you feed it kindness, hope, learning, gratitude, those become stronger instead. Meet Daniel. Every morning he woke up and immediately opened social media. Within 10 minutes, he had compared himself with strangers. He saw holidays, luxury cars, perfect bodies, successful careers. By breakfast, he already felt behind in life. Nothing in Daniel's life had actually changed, only what he had fed his mind. One day, he decided to replace just 30 minutes of scrolling. Instead, he listened to an inspiring podcast during breakfast. He read a few pages from a book before bed. He spent more time talking to friends who encouraged him rather than those who constantly complained. After a few months, his life looked almost the same from the outside. But inside, everything felt different. Because what we repeatedly consume becomes the language of our thoughts. This also applies to conversations. Notice how you feel after spending time with different people. Some leave you feeling lighter, hopeful, encouraged. Others leave you drained, negative, anxious. You don't always get to choose everyone around you, but you can choose which conversations deserve more of your energy. The same is true for music, books, videos, podcasts, movies. Every piece of content is planting something in your mind. Ask yourself, is this helping me become the person I want to be? One final habit. Protect your evenings. Many people spend the last moments before sleep worrying, replaying mistakes, reading stressful news, checking emails. Then they wonder why they wake up feeling anxious. Instead, create a peaceful night routine. Turn off your phone a little earlier. Read something uplifting. Write down 3 things that went well today. It doesn't have to be extraordinary. Maybe someone smiled at you. Maybe you enjoyed your dinner. Maybe you simply made it through a difficult day. Your last thoughts before sleep often become your first thoughts in the morning. Protect them carefully. Staying positive during hard times. Now, let's be honest. Positive thinking doesn't mean life will suddenly become easy. There will still be difficult days. Days when nothing goes according to plan. Days when you feel tired, disappointed, heartbroken. The goal isn't to pretend those days don't exist. The goal is learning how to walk through them without losing yourself. Imagine driving through a long tunnel. While you're inside, it feels dark. You may wonder if the light has disappeared forever. But every tunnel has something important. An exit. You don't stop halfway because it's dark. You keep moving. Life works the same way. Hard seasons are tunnels, not permanent homes. Here's a story about Emma. Emma loved gardening. One spring, a heavy storm destroyed many of her flowers. She felt like giving up. Her grandfather quietly handed her a packet of new seeds. He said, "The storm didn't end the garden. It only changed what needed to be planted next." Those words stayed with Emma for the rest of her life. Sometimes difficult seasons don't destroy us. They simply prepare us for different growth. Think about bamboo. For years, it seems like almost nothing is happening above the ground. Yet beneath the surface, an enormous root system is quietly developing. Then, when it's ready, it grows incredibly fast. Our own growth often looks exactly like that. Just because you can't see progress today doesn't mean progress isn't happening. On difficult days, Ask yourself one simple question. What can I control? You may not control the weather, other people's opinions, unexpected problems, or yesterday's mistakes. But you can control your next decision, your next kind word, your next healthy choice, your next deep breath. Life becomes lighter when we stop fighting things beyond our control. Picture a river flowing through a forest. Eventually, it reaches large rocks. Does the river stop? Does it argue with the rocks? No, it simply flows around them, patiently, steadily. Eventually, it continues its journey. Strength isn't always pushing through obstacles. Sometimes, strength is learning how to move around them, becoming the person you want to be. Finally, let's remember why we're doing all of this. Positive thinking isn't about becoming someone fake. It's about becoming more fully yourself. Imagine climbing a mountain. When you look at the top, it feels impossibly far away. But if you keep taking one step, then another, one day you'll look behind you and realize how far you've already climbed. Growth always feels slow while it's happening. Meet Alex. Alex believed he wasn't confident. Every meeting at work felt frightening. Instead of trying to become fearless overnight, he made one small promise. Each day, he would speak just one sentence more than he usually did. One question, one opinion, one idea, nothing dramatic. Months later, people described him as confident. Not because confidence suddenly appeared, but because tiny actions slowly became part of his identity. The same is true for kindness. Kindness doesn't always mean grand gestures. Sometimes it's listening without interrupting, holding a door open, sending a message to check on a friend, smiling at someone who looks tired. One elderly woman in a small village had a simple morning ritual. Every sunrise, she scattered birdseed outside her home. Children once asked her, "Why do you feed birds every day?" She smiled and answered, "Because every act of kindness reminds me what kind of person I want to become." She wasn't changing the whole world. She was changing her own heart. And perhaps that's where every positive life truly begins. Take a moment now and look back. Think about who you were a year ago. Notice what you've learned, the challenges you've survived, the mistakes you've grown from, the courage you've discovered. You're probably stronger than you give yourself credit for. Remember the garden we spoke about earlier. Every positive thought, every healthy habit, every kind action, every moment of gratitude is another seed planted. Not every seed grows overnight, but if you keep caring for your garden, one day you'll wake up and realize your life looks different. Not because everything around you changed, but because you did. And perhaps that's the greatest form of positivity, not pretending life is perfect, but becoming a calmer, stronger, wiser, and kinder version of yourself, one small day at a time. As we move into the final chapter, we'll bring everything together and discover how to make positivity not just something you practice, but something you naturally become. Hope you have liked this video and try to keep yourself always positive. Until we meet in next video, see ya.